Okay, now question number 1. The concentration of aqueous sodium carbonate can be found by reaction with a hydrochloric acid of known concentration. The indicator methyl orange is used. It means they are talking about a reaction between sodium carbonate, which is Na2CO3, and HCl. And if you recall what products we will get, both are aqueous because both are water soluble, and we will get NaCl aqueous plus H2O, that is a liquid, and carbon dioxide, that is a gas. So which items of equipments are needed? Okay, so you need to remember that whenever we need to find the concentration, uh, the measurements must be precise and accurate, and measuring cylinder does not do the accurate measurements. So we will mark A and B wrong. Is this clear to everyone? जी ये point clear है सबको?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then burette, pipette, and conical flask. Yes. Normally we find the concentration by titration, so all three are correct. So C can be our correct answer. But if we look at D, they are saying stopwatch, so there is no need of a stopwatch because we are not finding the rate. So D also goes wrong, and we are left with only C option, which is correct. ये clear है सबको?
Yes, sir.
Okay, question number 2. The diagram shows 3 stages, 1, 2, and 3 used in the preparation of salt. Okay, which raw correctly shows the solubilities both of the reactants and of the salt form in this preparation? Okay, so the method is showing that it is a precipitation method, right? Because we are doing the filtration. No, it's not precipitation because we are heating the filtrate, which means we are doing the crystallization in the third stage. And crystallization is for a soluble salt, right? And if it's a soluble salt, which makes A and C wrong. Is it understandable to everyone? जी इसमें कोई कंफ्यूजन है तो प्लीज पूछ लें.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Now we are left with B and D. The residue left over, because we are doing the filtration and the residue left over so is present, it means that our one substance is soluble, that is already in the first stage, and the second is insoluble over here. So this is a soluble reactant and this is a insoluble reactant. Walaikum assalam. So that makes B goes wrong as well. So we are left with the D. So D is our correct option. G. यहाँ तक clear है सबको?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now question number 3. the nucleon number of an atom is typically greater than its proton number. Okay. The difference between these two numbers indicates the number of what? If we subtract a nucleon number from the proton number, we will get the number of neutrons.
Neutrons.
So A and B goes wrong. Is this understandable to everyone?
The answer is D.
Yeah. Very good, Ayan. Atoms that have a different nucleon number but the same proton numbers are called isotopes. So this makes C goes wrong as well. So we are left with the D. So D is our correct answer. जी यहाँ तक clear है सबको?
जी sir.
Okay. Question number 4. Which three elements exist as a diatomic molecules at room temperature? So here we have a helium. Helium is not a diatomic element, so A goes wrong.
Sir, C.
Here we have a neon. Okay, very good. Very good, Ayan. Neon is again a monoatomic, not a diatomic, so B goes wrong. And if you look at D, again I have a helium. So D goes wrong as well. So I am left with the C. So C is my correct answer. Yes, Sarah, Wariza, Ayan, Shafe, Zaid. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
And if you have to recall which elements are diatomic, there are only 8 elements that are diatomic molecules, and those are hydrogen, then nitrogen, then oxygen, then fluorine, then chlorine, then bromine, then iodine, and sometimes astatine as well. Okay. Question number 5. Which is a pure compound? Dry air. Is it a pure compound?
No sir.
No. What about ethanol?
Yes sir.
It can be, but what about steel? Steel is a mixture.
No.
Dry air is
It
a mixture.
contains carbon and iron.
Yes, and petrol is also a mixture of a hydrocarbon. So D also goes wrong. So we are left with the B option only. So B is our correct answer. जी यहाँ तक clear है सबको?
Yes sir.
Question number 6. Which diagram best represents the structure of a solid metal? So A is wrong because there are ions. See the key over here. And C also goes wrong because there are the spaces between the cations. D also goes wrong, that cations are not surrounded by the electrons. So we are left with the B. So B is our correct answer. जी यहाँ तक clear है सबको?
Yes sir.
Yes, Variza. Yes, Sarah. Yes,
Yes,
Shafe
sir.
and Zed. Variza is not here. Okay. Question number 7. Hydrogen sulfide burns in an excess of oxygen according to the equation shown. And here we have a equation. 48 dm cube of hydrogen sulfide is burned. Which volume of sulfur dioxide will be formed at room temperature and pressure? Okay. So it is the easiest question because if you look at the hydrogen sulfur, the moles of hydrogen sulfide and the moles of sulfur dioxide are same. So it means if there are 48 dm cube, sorry, if there are 48 dm cube of this one reacting and it's a gas, so we will get the 48 dm cube of sulfur dioxide as well. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So C is the correct answer. Now question number 8. If anybody have any doubt, kindly ask me. If you got confused in any explanation, do ask me to clarify your concepts. Now question number 8. Which statement about the electrical conductivity is correct? Covalent compounds such as glucose conduct when molten
Sir,
or
C.
dissolved in water. No, covalent compound does not conduct electricity in water, so it goes wrong. Okay, Ayan, let me check. C. Dilute acid such as sulfuric acid and conducts because all ions are free to move. Mm, yes, it can be, but what about the C option? Ionic compounds such as sodium chloride conduct due to the movement of electrons. No, it is wrong. Ayan, it is wrong because sodium chloride is a ionic compound. It can, conduct electricity by the movement of ions, not electrons. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Is this understandable to everyone? Metals such as copper conduct due to the movement of positive ions. No, again it goes wrong. Why? Because positive ions do not move. Only electrons are moved, and positive ions do move, but in aqueous solution, not in the solid state. And electrons move in the solid state, not in aqueous solution. So B is our correct answer. ठीक है ना भाई, यहाँ तक किसी को कोई कंफ्यूजन है तो पूछ लीजिए.
No problem, sir.
Okay. Question number 9. Ammonia is manufactured from nitrogen and hydrogen by Haber process. And here we have a equation. What is the percentage yield of 60 kg of ammonia when 60 kg of ammonia is produced from 60 kg of hydrogen? Okay, so see, it's easy to identify. If I have a hydrogen, according to the equation, what ratio I am getting, that 3 moles of hydrogen is reacting with 2 moles of ammonia. Is this part is understandable to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So if it's a 3 moles of hydrogen, it means that it is 3 moles times the MR of hydrogen, which is 2. And here 2 moles of ammonia, so 2 times the MR of ammonia, that is 17, because nitrogen is 14 and there are 3 hydrogens, so 14 plus 3 makes it 17. So here we go. Now if there is a 60 kg of ammonia, hydrogen, then how much ammonia is formed? That is X. So X must be equivalent to 60 times 2 times 17 divided by 3 times 2. So can anybody tell me the answer? 17 twos are 34. So 20 times 70 is 340. So 340 grams must be produced, but instead of 340 grams, 60 kg, 340 kg, not grams, sorry. So now I will calculate the percentage yield by 60 divided by 340 times 100. So can anybody tell me the correct answer?
Sir, B.
It's 17.6%. So B is our correct answer. जी किसी को कोई confusion है इसमें तो please पूछ लें. Yes, Zaid. Yes, Shafe. Yes, Sarah. And Wariza isn't here. Okay. जी देख लें वर्किंग, और अगर किसी को कोई कंफ्यूजन है तो प्लीज पूछ लीजिए. जी ये सबको क्लियर है?
Yes, sir.
Question number 10. What is the ratio of the number of molecules in 71 gram of gaseous chlorine to the number of molecules of 2 gram of hydrogen? Okay. So if we talk about chlorine and hydrogen, if I talk about the 71, it's 71 gram, isn't it equal to its MR? And if I talk about a 2 gram, then isn't it equal to its MR?
Yes, sir.
So it means there is a 1 mole of chlorine and there is a 1 mole of hydrogen, right? Is this understandable? Because both the values, the masses are their MR only. They are equivalent to their MR in grams. So it means both have a 1 mole, isn't it? Yes. If anybody have any doubt, kindly ask, kindly clarify your doubt. Sarah, Zaid,
Yes,
Shafe,
sir.
is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if they are 1 mole, so it means it must have a 6.02 exponent 23 molecules. And it also have 6.02 exponent 23 molecules. So both have a same number of molecules. So if I take the ratio of their molecules, then it must be equal to 1:1, which means A is our correct answer. जी यहाँ तक clear है सबको?
जी, sir.
Okay, question number 11. The diagram shows the apparatus for an electrolysis experiment. We have our inert electrodes and we have electrolyte, and here we have a battery. Using the apparatus shown, which electrolyte would give colorless gases at both electrodes? If I
Just
use
C.
copper 2 sulfate, okay, let me do over here. Cathode and anode. If I am using copper 2 sulfate as an electrolyte, I will get a copper solid over here. And if I am getting a solid, A goes wrong. And if there is a sulfate, so I will get a oxygen gas at anode because sulfate doesn't undergo oxidation at anode, only hydroxide. In case of sulfate and nitrate, only hydroxide will undergo. So A is wrong because we are getting a gas at only one electrode. And they are asking the colorless gases at both the electrode. So that's why I marked A wrong. So is this understandable to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, concentrated aqueous sodium chloride. So if I take a sodium chloride and it's a concentrated aqueous, so in case of aqueous, the cation which is lower in the reactivity series of a metal will undergo reduction at cathode. So in case of sodium, we have a hydrogen as well, and that hydrogen goes and form hydrogen gas, which is a colorless gas. And at a anode, I am going to get a there is a chloride, so I'm going to get a chlorine that is a green gas, and they are asking about the colorless gas, so I will mark B as a wrong as well, because we are getting a green colored gas, not a colorless gas. Is this understandable to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, okay, let me do one thing. I have a copper ion over here, aqueous, so hydrogen ion over here, a sulfate ion from a copper to sulfate over here, and a hydroxide ion because it's an aqueous. So in case of this, that copper 2 positive and hydroxide will react at cathode and anode. In case of aqueous sodium chloride, I have a sodium ion. Then I have a hydrogen ion because aqueous, a chloride ion from a sodium chloride, and a hydroxide ion because it's an aqueous. So in this case, because it's a concentrated, so we get a chloride uh, being reacted at anode, forming a chlorine, and hydrogen at cathode, because hydrogen is less reactive than sodium. It is lower in the reactivity series. Now, if I talk about dilute sulfuric acid, I have a hydrogen ion. Whether it's we talk about sulfuric acid, it have a hydrogen ion as a positive ion, and as it's dilute, which means it's aqueous. So water also have a hydrogen ion. So beside this hydrogen ion, we have a sulfate ions, and we know sulfate ions do not undergo reduction at oxidation at anode, and we have a hydroxide ion. So in this case, hydrogen ions and hydroxide ions will react at cathode and anode respectively. So when hydrogen ion reduces at cathode, I will get a hydrogen gas, which is a colorless gas. And at cathode, when hydroxide ions oxidizes, I'm going to get a oxygen gas, which is a colorless gas too. So my C option is correct. And here we are talking about molten lead bromide. So it's a molten, so it means we have only lead to a positive ions and bromide negative ions. And
Lead
here
is
we are going
solid.
to get a lead solid. So that's why D goes wrong as well. So C is for sure our correct answer. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
जी
Yes,
किसी को
sir.
कोई confusion है तो प्लीज पूछ लें. Okay. Now question number 12.
A.
Which metal is most likely to be extracted from its molten chloride by using electrolysis? Okay. So for that, if you recall a reactivity series, we have a potassium, then sodium, then calcium, then magnesium, then aluminium, and then carbon, then zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen, copper, mercury, silver, gold, platinum. A hydrogen is a non-metal. The one which can be extracted by electrolysis are the one which are above in the reactivity series. So out of these, we have a calcium over here. Yes, very good, Ayan. So A is our correct answer. And it means B, C, and D all are wrong. Yes, Sarah. Yes, Fariza. Zaid and Shafe. Is it understandable to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now question number 13.
Yes, sir.
Two energy profile diagrams are shown. The scale on the y-axis is same for both the diagrams. Which statement is correct? Both reactions are exothermic. If you see, the reactants are lower than the product, which means both are endothermic. So A goes wrong because they are not exothermic, they are endothermic. ये बात समझ में आ रही है सबको?
जी सर, आ रही है समझ.
Okay. Only one reaction is endothermic? No, both the reactions are endothermic, so B goes wrong as well. The activation energy for reaction 1 is smaller than the activation energy of reaction 2. So have a look over here. The activation energy of reaction 1 is that, and the activation energy of reaction 2 is that. So the activation energy of reaction 1 is not smaller, it is greater than activation energy of reaction 2, so which makes C wrong as well. So it means D is our correct answer. Yes, Shayan, Zaid, Shafe, Variza, and Sara. Is it understandable to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Question number 14. Ammonium nitrate dissolves in water. Here we have a equation showing its dissolution. The enthalpy change is positive 25 kilojoule per mole. Which statement are correct? This reaction is endothermic. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
The water gets colder during the reaction. Yes, if the energy is absorbed, so the water gets colder. Yes, the temperature decreases. So second statement is correct. Heat energy is absorbed by the ammonium nitrate from the water. Yes, this is correct because water is the part of the surrounding. So all three statements are correct. So D is the correct answer. If anybody have any confusion or doubt in this question, do ask me. Yes,
No, sir.
Shafe, Ayan, Zaid, Sara, and Variza.
No, sir.
Okay, question number 15, which is statement about photosynthesis? Yes, Variza. Which statement about photosynthesis is
I
correct?
said it's clear.
Okay. Shafe and Zaid. Chlorophyll is a reactant. No, chlorophyll is the
Sir,
place
B.
where the reaction takes place. So A goes wrong. Oxygen is the product. Yes, it is correct, but let me uh, look at the other options as well. Sunlight is a reactant. No, it is a condition. Water is a product. No, water is a reactant. So we marked A, C, and D wrong. It means B is our correct answer. जी यहाँ तक क्लियर है सबको?
Yes.
Question number 16. In which reaction is underlying substance reduced? Okay, now I want all of you to attempt this part and let me know which is the correct answer. Yes, who is going to tell me?
Sir, B.
Okay. Any other option if anybody guess any other option? So it's very easy. Initially the underlying substance or element. So if they are element, their oxidation number is 0 over here. And here carbon have a +2 charge because oxygen have a -2 charge. Here it have a -1 charge, they have written over here. Here magnesium have a 2+ charge because it is bonded with oxygen, and here they have written the charge of zinc. So here it is undergoing oxidation, this one is undergoing oxidation, this one is undergoing oxidation, and here the underlying substance is only undergoing reduction. So B is our correct answer and all are the wrong ones. जी यहाँ तक क्लियर है सबको?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, now question number 17. Catalyst alter the rate of chemical reaction. Which statement correctly describes the effect of adding a catalyst to a reaction? All reactant particles have a more energy and move faster. No, it's
No,
wrong
sir.
because catalysts do not increases the energy. The catalyst actually lowers the activation energy. It means it lowers the energy that the reactant particles must have to do a chemical to convert into product. The activation energy is lowered. Yes, it is correct. More reactant particles collide with enough energy to react. Yes, if the activation energy is lowered, then there are more particles which can collide with the enough energy. So second and third statement is correct, which means our C option is the correct option. Yes, Wariza. Yes, Sarah. Yes, Zaid. Yes, Shafi, and yes, Ayan. Is anybody have any doubt? Kindly ask.
No
No, sir.
doubt.
No, sir.
Solution T has the following properties. It reacts with magnesium forming a gas. It reacts with calcium carbonate forming a gas. Which statement about solution T is correct? If it is reacting with the magnesium, which is a metal, and forming a gas, then
Hydrogen
it
acid.
will be a hydrogen gas. And that here we have a metal carbonate. And if it is reacting with the metal carbonate and forming a gas, it means this gas must be carbon dioxide, and on the basis of that I can conclude that solution P is an acid. Is this point is understandable to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It contains more hydroxide ions than hydrogen ion. Is this statement is correct? Yes. Is this statement is correct or wrong?
Wrong.
Wrong, because more hydroxide ions means alkali and more hydrogen ions means acid. So if they are, according to this, they are saying that it is an alkali. So A goes wrong. It has a pH of 9, pH of a 9, it has a pH of alkali, so B goes wrong. Its reaction with calcium carbonate produces a hydrogen gas. No, we concluded that its reaction with the calcium carbonate may produce carbon dioxide gas, so C goes wrong. So we are left with only D option. And yes, D is correct because it reacts with the ammonia, because ammonia is an alkali and solution T is an acid. So that it is an acid. So acid reacts with ammonia because ammonia is an alkali. जी यहाँ तक clear है सबको?
Yes, sir.
If anybody have any doubt, kindly ask. Yes, Shafi, Zaid, Ayan, and Wariza. जी सबको clear है?
G, sir.
Which substance is soluble in water? Copper 2 carbonate? No. Copper 2 oxide? No. Copper 2 hydroxide? No. Copper 2 nitrate? Yes, because there is a point in the solubility that you need to remember that all nitrates are water soluble, right? All hydroxides are water insoluble except group 1 and magnesium downward. All metal oxides are water insoluble except magnesium downward and group 1. All carbonates are water insoluble except magnesium carbonate and group 1. ठीक है? तो D correct answer होगा. तो for this kind of question you have to remember that the solubilities of the salts. Now question number 20. Which statement about ammonia is correct? Ammonia have a formula of NH3 and it is a weak base, weak alkali. It is colorless, yes. It is odorless, no. It have a irritating smell, so A goes wrong. It is a gas that turns blue litmus red. Yes, it's a base, so it means this statement is correct. So B goes correct, and if B goes correct, then it obviously means C and D are wrong. जी यहाँ तक clear है सबको?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes, Variza.
isn't it the opposite? Doesn't it turn red litmus paper blue?
Yes, sir. Isn't the
Oh
answer
yes,
C?
oh yes, oh yes. My mistake. Sorry, sorry. You are right. this blue litmus red will be, the blue litmus turns into red by an acid, not an alkali. Yeah, I overlooked. So B goes wrong. It is formed when potassium nitrate is heated with aqueous sodium hydroxide and aluminium. Yes, it is correct. It is manufactured using vanadium 5 oxide as a catalyst. No, it's wrong. So if you recall, that is the test for a nitrate ion. When nitrate ion is heated with sodium hydroxide and aluminium foil, a gas will form that turns the damp red litmus blue, which means that gas is ammonia. So C is correct answer. Yes, now is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Question number 21. Part of the periodic table is shown with 4 elements W, X, Y, and Z. There are not elements actual symbols. Okay. Some pair of these elements may react to form compounds. Which formula are correct? So can anybody tell me the answer?
Sir B.
Okay, because here we have a 2 plus charge, and here we have a 1 minus charge, here we have a 2 minus charge, and here we have a 3 plus charge. So W and X, both the positive charges, elements having a can gain a positive charge, will not react with each other. WY2, yes, W have a 2 plus charge and Y have a 1 minus charge. So the formula will be WY2. ये बात clear है सबको?
Yes, sir.
Then WZ, because W have a 2 plus charge and Z have a 2 minus charge. So both the charges are have a same charge. So the form, it will get cancelled and it will be WZ. So B is correct. So B is our correct answer. And then WZ is correct. But if we talk about X and Z, X have a 3 positive charge, Z have a 2 minus charge. So the formula will be, sorry, X2, Z3. So this is wrong, which makes C wrong. So X and Z will form a formula of X2, Z3. So it is correct. And YZ, no, it is not correct because Y and Z both are a minus, both can get a minus charge. If they do, if they will combine, then it will be like ZY2, because Z needs 2 electrons to share, to gain, and Y needs 1 electron. So that's why D goes wrong. यहाँ तक किसी को कोई confusion है तो please पूछ लें.
No problem, sir.
Sir clear.
Okay. (22) The element in group 1 have a similar chemical properties. Okay. Which statement explain why this is true? They all have a metallic bond. Yes, they do all have a metallic bond, but it doesn't mean because group 2 have also have a metallic bonds. Group 3 elements and transition elements also have a metallic bond, but their properties
Sir 3.
are not similar. So A goes wrong. Okay, let me
Sir
check.
C.
They all have the same number of complete electron shells. No, because as we move down the group, the number of electron shells increases. So they do not have a same number of complete electron shells. So B goes wrong. Now C, they all have the same number of electrons in their outer shell. Yes, it is correct because they belongs to a same group. It means they have a same number of electrons in their valence shell. They are all stored under oil to prevent reaction with water. Yes. So they all have the same number of electrons in their outer shell. They are all stored under oil to prevent reaction with air.
C.
Yes, C is correct because due to the same number of outer shell electrons, they have a same properties. And D is a property, D is not the explanation. So I will mark D wrong. D is also a correct statement, but here we cannot consider it correct because it is not explaining that why their chemical properties are similar. Is this understandable to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Helium and xenon are both noble gases. What is true of both elements? They are chemically inert. Yes. So that's why I will mark C and D wrong, because both do not react. The atoms have 8 electrons in their outer shell. So what is correct, A or B?
Sir, A.
A goes wrong and B is the correct answer. Why? Yes, who can tell me the explanation why B is correct answer and why A is wrong?
Helium doesn't have 8 electrons in the outer shell.
Yes, because helium have a first electron as its outer shell, and that first shell have 2 electrons only. So it have 2 electrons in its outer shell, and xenon have 8 electrons in its outer shell. So that's why A goes wrong. So see, this is a trickier one. Most of the students can go for a A option, because they normally think or that if it's a noble gas, so it have 8 electrons. Yes, all the noble gases have 8 electrons in their outermost shell, but except helium. Helium have 2 electrons in its outer shell only. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Now question number 24. The ions of metal X reacts with aqueous potassium iodide. From this information, see, okay, they are colored. And here they have a +1 charge because I have a -1 charge over here, and here I is becoming 0. So I is changing from -1 to 0. It's its oxidation number and its charge getting bigger, which means it loses the electron, which means it is undergoing oxidation. And if we talk about X changes from 2 plus to 1 plus, right? Which makes that it gains the electron, and gain of electron is reduction. From this information, it can be deduced X is most likely a transition element. Why? Because it's a colored. So I will mark A and I will mark B wrong.
Also because it has different oxidation states.
Yes. And X2 positive ions are oxidized or reduced. Yes. Which one is correct?
Reduce, it gains
Yes,
1 electron.
used that it gains the electron. That's why the charge on it gets decreased. So I will mark C wrong, and D is the correct answer. यहाँ तक clear है सबको?
G, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now question number 25. Which substance is a metal? Okay. Conducts electricity when solid. So here all the metals do conduct electricity in its solid, and we are observing over here that a tick in the C part, which means A is wrong, B is wrong, and D is wrong. So C option is the correct option. यहाँ तक clear है सबको?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Which metal can obtain from its oxide by using either carbon or hydrogen? So which is below the carbon? And the answer is, I think you can easily mark C, magnesium, and wrong. And they are asking about carbon or hydrogen. So it means it can be an element which is even lower than hydrogen. So if you recall a reactivity series over here, I can mark D and B wrong as well. Let me show you why. First we have a potassium, then we have a sodium, then we have a calcium, then we have a magnesium, and there is a place Then we have a aluminium, then there is a place of carbon, and after carbon we have a zinc, then we have a iron, then we have a lead, then we have a hydrogen, and then we have a copper. So copper is below carbon and below hydrogen both. So that's why it can be obtained from its oxide by using either carbon or hydrogen. So A is my correct answer. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
27, metal carbonate decomposes when heated. Which carbonate is most stable to heat? So if you
Sir,
recall,
is it A?
yes, because the more reactive the element is, the more stable its compound is. So out of these four, calcium, copper, lead, and zinc, calcium is the most reactive one, copper is the least reactive one, lead is even less reactive than zinc, and zinc is even less reactive than calcium. So calcium carbonate is most stable to heat out of these compounds. Is it understandable to everyone? जी यहाँ तक क्लियर है भाई सबको?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we will be keeping our class till here today, and inshallah for tomorrow, on tomorrow we will continue over here. Okay. Okay, take care everyone. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz, sir.
Allah